Mataconda77 very generously gave me a year's worth of subscriptions on Patreon and brings you today's video. The first brand new 1v1 deck I've come up with in a very long time, playing this in the regular commander room with the regular non-1v1 commander rules. Yoshimaru and Rograkh versus Breya. Our opponent just starts things off with a command tower. We draw into Jeska's Will. So we'll drop a command tower ourselves and challenge them to have a swords on the Rohgahh. Rohgahh potentially going to get us into treasure tokens and a little bit of card advantage, but mainly bothered about the treasures here. Alright, that's a Hope of Garapor. That kind of stops us in our tracks. Or it would if we hadn't just drawn into Wear and Tear. So going to play Wear for 2 mana onto the Hope of Garapor here. And then that of course allows us straight through with the Rohgahh, so we'll swing in here, hit them for 2, exile the top card. Not particularly bothered about what we exiled, let's just go for the Yoshimaru with the treasure mana. And then play straight into our Rograkh for 0 mana. That does of course trigger the Yoshimaru, putting a plus counter on there. Now seeing a Whirler Virtuoso. And that's going to come in with a Thopter token apparently. They're doing a pretty good job of holding us back, even though we've been pretty quick here. Held off on the flagstones here because it's legendary, and that will still trigger the Yoshimaru, triggers on any legendary permanent. So I think we'll just try a Jeska's Will here, try and get into something that can blow one of those creatures out of the way so we can keep swinging. We make 4 red mana, alright, and a Mox Amber is good. That means that we can make white mana if we need it. Drew Teferi's Protection as well, but not going to be using it here, I don't think. So that extra mana from the Mox Amber is actually relevant here, because now we can go for a play and equip onto the Sword of Truth and Justice. So yeah, couldn't have been much more perfect for us. Let's equip that onto the Rohgahh. And then we can turn everything in sideways apart from the Rograkh. Can't block either of these creatures and kill them off, hence the reason that we're turning both in sideways.
A few moments later.
Well, it appears as though my opponent, unfortunately, is just running down the clock here, doesn't want to actually concede.
2,000 years later.
Alright, I've waited a bit longer, doesn't appear as though they're coming back. Let's have a bit of fun with them here. Oh, hang on a second. I've gone into the lobby here and they've actually just started a multiplayer game when they're in the middle of a game with me. Oh, that's not good. No reason you can't just concede. Let's jump in this game quickly and see what's going on. Send a quick message to Harry Stamper here. Not sure if they can actually see the messages that I post here because I'm not part of this game, but I'll try it anyway just for the fun of it. Alright, well they finally timed out on this game, so I suppose we won after all. Oh wow, and then I come back into this game and yeah, it looks like they didn't get past the 3rd turn in this game either. They've decided to scoop this one as well. Anyway, we'll get into another game here and see if we can actually get one with this new Yoshimaru deck. Alright, weirdly, the exact same guy has joined in on this game as well. Not sure what the plan is here. Playing a different deck now, this time it is Kenrith, the Returned King. And on our first turn we draw into Halvar, God of Battle, which is going to give our stuff double strike if it's equipped. So once again, do the usual turn 1 play, Yoshimaru off the command tower into the Rograkh. Mox Amber will tap for Boros, and that is a legendary, so we'll get that into play. And follow that up with another legendary. Another Kamigawa legendary dog, this time Isamaru. And that already bumps Yoshimaru up to a 4-4. Our opponent just holding up 2 mana and passing, so go straight through to combat here, just turn everything in sideways, it's easier than clicking multiple things. Alright, there's a Tangle. Prevent all combat damage, and attacking creatures don't untap during the next untap step. Alright, that serves me right for being lazy. Don't think it particularly matters that Rograkh is tapped down there anyway. So I'll play out the Conqueror's Flail, and it'll keep them from playing combat tricks like that. Playing a land and getting into another legendary creature in Zergo Bellstriker. First thing I want to do is equip the Flail onto the Yoshimaru. That will get +2/+2, and it will keep them from casting spells during our turn. And then Dash is particularly good in this deck as well, because Zergo's going to come in with haste, deal a bit of damage, and then bounce back to the hand, ready to be played again and put more counters on Yoshimaru. So we'll turn that in sideways, and like I said, the Dash will return it back to our hand. Alright, Teferi's Protection, things going pretty well for us here, I think. They can't respond during our turn, so let's go for the double strike on the Yoshimaru. Should maybe dash Zergo again and go for the Teferi's Protection being held up, but I like getting through as much damage as quickly as possible with Halvar. So our Yoshimaru, now an 8/8, will swing in with Isamaru as well, but this is 16 points of commander damage going on to our opponent, and they can't do anything about it. Conqueror's Flail is a really underappreciated equipment. And it seems as though our opponent is, just doing the old timeout trick again. I'll wait it out a bit longer.
One eternity later.
And eventually managed to time themselves out, so we'll go and ban this player in a minute. Should always pass it through to the next step and see what you draw into at least, and then know whether or not you've lost next turn. Anyway, our opponent is one of those babies that likes to just time out instead of actually conceding. Must feel to them as though they've gained some kind of petty victory. Only revisited 1v1 Commander for a few weeks now, and yeah, the salt is flowing freely. If you enjoyed Salty the Salt Shaker's visit back to the channel, then be sure to leave it a thumbs up and consider donating on Patreon as well if you enjoy these videos. Massive thank you to those of you who already support. I'm tribalkai. Thank you for watching.